Okay, so you should have created your own text and you should be able to rotate it, do different things with it. I do want you to play with the tutorial. Please go back over and over again in this tutorial, goof around, do things wrong intentionally just to see what the tutorial does. What I would like you guys to do now is a very, very important thing. We're going to actually create a camera. We're going to have the camera fly around the name. But the problem is, if we put a camera in, and I think I'll actually show that. It's this tool down here, the picture of the camera. You notice the little camera here. I can move the camera around. I just click on the object move and move it around. And you notice that the camera isn't looking at my name. I want to take the tool over here up at the top, and you may have to open the trash barrel. And you drag down, you see this thing with all the arrows pointing towards the sphere in the center? Those are called the Look At tool. I'm going to click on that tool, click on the name, and now watch what happens to this camera when I drag it around. Alright, I'm not going to tell you what it's doing. If you did it right, it should be very, very, very obvious what it's doing. Alright, so when I drag the camera around, I'm using the object move tool to drag it. You'll notice what the camera is doing. But there is something important that you need to know about cameras. You can look through cameras. Actually, you can look through any object. If you click down here on the house with the three-quarter view, you notice there are a lot of different options. One is, what is the camera or the selected object in this tool seeing? And if I click on that, all of a sudden, I notice that my name is a little bit different. It's changed. I'm going to click on one of these other views. And again, this is why we use a four-way view. I'm going to click on the top view. Watch what happens when I move it around. Ooh, pretty. Yeah, I'm seeing what's happening from the camera view. All right? But there is one problem here. Is you notice how it's looking at the R? The reason is the camera will look at whatever the axis is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click back on my name, select my name, and if you click down here at the bottom, you should find a couple of like red, green, and blue axes. Now, when I mouse over it, the one that's up is normalized scale. I don't want to do that because that's going to change the object size. I want to click and drag down to this one that shows the axis. It says move axis to center. Boom. And the axis, if you notice in this view, now the axis is in the center of the name. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the white arrow, and then I'm just going to click on the camera and watch what happens to the camera now. Notice the camera all of a sudden it flickered over and say, oh, wait a minute, the axis has moved, and now I'm looking at the center of my name. All right? That is a very, very important tool that you're going to use, you're going to learn how to use, and you're going to learn how to make the camera fly around. All right? But what I want to do now is I want to show you how you render objects. Okay? If you look down here at the bottom, right next to where the four-way view thing was, if you go down here, you're going to notice there's a little orange box, and when I click on it, well, the camera disappears. I want to select my name, and I'm going to select it in the camera view. And let's click that orange box again. And you notice how all of a sudden the name becomes 3D? Well, what we've done is we've rendered the name. And if you click and you drag up to the whole thing, you'll see that one that says render scene and one that says render scene to file. You're not going to do render scene to file yet. We're just going to render the scene. And you notice that everything goes into full color? We're going to work on that, and that's the next tutorial we're going to do. We're going to make things look pretty now. Okay, that's our next assignment. Okay, so thus far you've learned how to move axes, put cameras in, and use the Look At tool.